was Christmas Eve, 1945. The Sodder family home in Fayetteville, West Virginia, was filled with the laughter of 10 children, the glow of holiday lights, and the scent of pine. By morning, it was gone, reduced to ashes by a mysterious fire that claimed, allegedly, 5 of the Sodder children. But here's the question that's haunted generations. Did they really die in that fire, or were they taken? Let's explore one of America's most haunting unsolved child disappearance cases. Chapter 1. Meet the Sodders. George and Jenny Sodder were Italian immigrants who had built a quiet but prosperous life in Fayetteville, West Virginia. George owned a successful trucking business, and the couple raised 10 children, a bustling, close-knit family that became well known throughout the small coal town. To neighbors, the Sodders appeared to be living the American dream. They were respected, hardworking, and generous. But beneath that surface, there was tension, especially around George's outspoken political beliefs. George was fiercely anti-fascist. He was particularly vocal in his criticism of Benito Mussolini, the dictator of his native Italy. And in a town with a sizable Italian-American population, this made him enemies. Some community members took offense. George even had heated arguments with fellow Italians who still supported Mussolini. In fact, a visitor to the Sodder home just months before the fire allegedly warned George, saying, "George, your house is going up in smoke, and your children are going to be destroyed." George didn't take it seriously at the time, but in hindsight, some believe that warning wasn't just talk. It may have been a threat tied to his political views, and that's where the mystery begins. Chapter 2. The Night of the Fire. On the night of December 24th, 1945, the Sodder family celebrated Christmas Eve. Around 12:30 a.m., a phone call came in, a woman asking for someone who didn't live there. Jenny Sodder found the voice strange and the caller laughing before hanging up. Then, within the next hour, strange things started happening. The family's lights flickered. A loud thud hit the roof. Smoke began to fill the home. At 1 a.m., the house was engulfed in flames. George and Jenny escaped with 4 of their children, but 5 others were trapped upstairs, or so it seemed. Despite desperate efforts, the flames grew too quickly. George even tried to use his coal truck to reach the second floor, but both trucks mysteriously failed to start. The fire department didn't arrive until 8 hours later. By then, the house was gone, and so were the children: Maurice, Martha, Louis, Jenny, and Betty. Chapter 3. No bodies, no bones, no closure. Here's where the mystery becomes chilling. After the flames were out and the Sodder home was reduced to ash, the search began for the remains of the 5 missing children. But what was found, or rather what wasn't found, raised more questions than answers. There were no bones, no skulls, no fragments, nothing. The local fire chief, F.J. Morris, claimed the fire had burned hot enough to cremate the children's bodies completely, but experts and the Sodders weren't convinced. Forensic specialists later pointed out that even in intense house fires, bones almost always remain. Complete incineration would require extreme temperatures sustained for hours, something that simply didn't happen here. Jenny Sodder didn't accept the explanation. In her grief and desperation, she conducted her own experiments, burning small animal bones in the stove. Every time, the bones remained. So if the fire wasn't hot enough to destroy 5 bodies entirely, where did they go? The lack of remains left the Sodders with a terrifying possibility. Their children didn't die in the fire. They may have been taken before the flames began. Chapter 4. The strange clues that followed. In the weeks and years that followed, more bizarre details surfaced. A telephone repairman said the lines had been cut, not burned. A witness said he saw a man stealing a block and tackle from the Sodders' yard around the time of the fire. Another claimed to see people throwing balls of fire onto the roof, possibly Molotov cocktails. Even stranger, a bus driver passing through town said he saw people resembling the missing children peering from a car window the morning after the fire. In 1949, the site was excavated. Still, no trace of the children was found. Chapter 5. Were they kidnapped? The Sodders believed their children were taken, not killed. Rumors spread that the Italian mafia had targeted the family, possibly in retaliation for George's anti-Mussolini views. The Sodders even received a bizarre postcard in 1967. It featured a man who resembled Louis Sodder, one of the missing boys. On the back was scrawled, "I love Brother Frankie, Lil boys," a 90132 or 35. Was it a hoax, a cruel prank, or a real message? The FBI and local police refused to reopen the case, calling the evidence circumstantial, but the Sodder family never gave up. Chapter 6. A billboard that wouldn't let the town forget. For over 30 years, a massive billboard stood along Route 16, not far from the site of the Sodder home. It displayed the faces of the 5 missing children with bold letters reading what was their fate: kidnapped, murdered, burned. It became a local landmark and a nationwide symbol of a family's refusal to accept silence. Tourists, reporters, and conspiracy theorists visited the town just to see it, and the story of the Sodder children mystery stayed alive because of it. Chapter 7. The Legacy of a Mystery That Refused to Die. George and Jenny Sodder passed away in the 1960s and 80s, still without answers. Their children carried the torch, but as time went on, hope faded. Even today, no one knows what really happened. Were the children taken? Was there a cover-up? Or did something far stranger take place that night? The case remains officially unsolved, but the question that began in 1945 still lingers. How do 5 children disappear in a house fire that left no remains? What do you think happened to the Sodder children? Drop your theory in the comments. This case still needs fresh eyes. Subscribe for more chilling unsolved cases, missing person stories, and historical true crime. Share this video to help keep their memory and the mystery alive.